Hi traders, this is Brad with the Asian preview. All right, let's kick the week off. Let's just have a look where that North American session ended up. Equities pretty much flat. Obviously, Thanksgiving, even though it's Thursday, it really goes for Thursday, Friday, so you don't really see too much activity. In saying that, okay, we did see a nice, pretty aggressive jump up here in the dollar index by about 40, 50 points. Okay, taking it back above that 100-point mark once again. So now it's sitting up here. It looks a little bit more comfortable, but that's had, it hasn't had a huge amount of effect across the currencies. Dollar yen and dollar CAD have moved, but I'll come to that in a minute. Now, last week, obviously with Thanksgiving, there's a lot of focus. Everyone knows the holidays are on. It's very quiet. This week's going to be completely the opposite. There's a whole raft of stuff. The RBA interest rate announcement is on Tuesday. I think Carney speaking Tuesday or Wednesday, the Bank of England governor. A bunch of Aussie GDP retail sales later in the week, and a bunch of Chinese and UK data, and US non-farm payrolls on Friday. So if you're looking for a shakedown, this is going to be it. All right, so just coming back to the major currencies where we start the week. Now, you'll find these charts in the, if I just get this up, on the trade zone, okay? So just be aware, the technical levels will be posted each day, so you can come back and find these technical charts and a bit of a comment about what's going on, so you can compare your charts to what we're actually doing. Now, just look at these currencies. I know the dollar, as I said, the dollar index was slightly higher. Aussie's slow, sort of pointing downwards at this point. We do have a new sort of trend line support down the bottom here, but if anything, it does look like it's still wanting to come off a touch. Dollar yen broke up through that really nice level there, where the cloud and the trend line came in, shot up to the 122.90 almost. Okay, a little bit of a dollar move. Obviously, with that dollar strength and oil sort of coming back from sort of 43 bucks back to 41, also supported dollar CAD a little bit higher. Now, the rest of the currencies, well, they actually, the euro and sterling sort of dribbled off in that US session and then just tracked sideways. So they are waiting for a bit more direction, but that US dollar strength was the last thing that we had last week. Okay, so coming into the Asian session, Monday isn't usually a huge day at all, and there's no major data coming out, so don't get excited about epic things happening today. It's about preparing yourself for these events later in the week, especially starting tomorrow with the RBA. Tuesday is pretty much the first big one. Before that, we do have some Chinese numbers, but the RBA central banks are most important. Now, Aussie got resistance here at 72.23 and support down here around 71.85. Just looking at the few of the crosses here, they do look quite appealing for a couple of setups. What you want to do is really wait for the market to really re-engage from last week to get that momentum up to see exactly where things are. All right, so Aussie, not much to go by here at the moment, but does look like a bit of a, probably a few stop losses under 71.80, 85 at this point. Kiwi, very similar, probably new support line down here around 65.20. There should be a few stop losses under there, but it's going to be pretty, pretty slow trading to get going, unless we do see some left field action, that's for sure. All right, now dollar yen, the beast. There's that 1, 2, 3, 4, broke on the fifth time up through this level. Okay, so the dollar's just going to be drifting around. There's no major activity expected on the Nikkei. Okay, it's up 10 points. So really, maybe we do get something out of the numbers here, industrial output numbers or something, but otherwise it's not going to really do too much. Probably just going to wash around here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a test of the cloud, but or it just may just trade sideways. All right, now probably more importantly, just have a look at the yen crosses here to start the week. Okay, if you've gone through and drawn your technical levels, okay, Aussie's down through the cloud. We do have a new support line down here, but it's not that ideal setup we'd like to see, but definitely still worth looking at. Kiwi yen, well, a bit of resistance here around that cloud and support on the trend line. So it's more or less, I think, still trading sideways as well. Euro yen is still one of my preferred crosses. This resistance line here even looks more appealing now, sort of around 130.20. Nice level to be getting short, especially with that euro downward trend. Sterling yen, we've got another line here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, sort of 5 touches. Now, even if you're not comfortable getting short here, if you're not, well, then the answer is probably a break trade to the top side. And that could be the same for euro yen for that matter too. So they've got a couple of nice setups already, and something you want to be looking at in Asia, whereas CAD yen still sort of just gyrating around the place with those fluctuations in oil. All right, and that's pretty much where the Asian day is, guys. You want to spend the time getting your charts up the curve. Okay, so when you come across here, go through all your particular charts, the euro crosses, obviously, where you can find some, you'll just find some really good setups like this euro yen, which I just covered on that euro crosses, but also looking at euro, okay, then you come back across to looking at sterling, very similar setup to euro at the moment. The Swissy, completely just the opposite. It's like the euro turned upside down. One thing to note here is if you're looking at just having a quick look through the currencies, euro Swiss is back, back above 109. Okay, and funnily enough, if I just raise these comments here, we do have the Swiss central bank governor Jordan speaking about trying to sort of talk up that they're doing a good job keeping the Swiss down and all this sort of stuff. Interventions working, etc., etc. Now he's been very quiet since he basically fooled the market and screwed that euro Swiss move up. A lot of companies went broke, a lot of traders went broke. I'd say his name is at the top of most assassins list at this stage. But yeah, so you want to keep an eye on that Swiss. It may cause further issues if there is further appreciation there. Now the dollar CAD, okay, so it's back in the range here as well. Oil's sort of pulling this thing all over the place, but that strong dollar and weaker oil price has led to a nice move there in the funds. So that's where the majors are. So first thing, just get your charts up the curve. You know, once you've drawn these trend lines, then you can start to assess whether or not you should be buying or selling. Okay, until you get this done, it doesn't happen. And really what you want to be waiting for, I would think, is just a bit more clarity on the market with regards, get the markets to re-engage, especially that Tokyo session, get some liquidity back in the market. We'll see where last week's momentum finished, see if it matches up with what we're seeing this week. It's going to be a big week, so as I said, just remain patient today, and if something big does come up, well, maybe jump on it, but you want to really be waiting for probably the European session, if not Tuesday's trading. All right, guys, have a good week. You'll catch us in the trade zone. There'll be a few updates coming out shortly with a few more updates and about the members area and a few other things as well. All right, guys, we'll catch you later on. Cheerio.